who's ready to do some splinter twinning. So we are testing out a Izzet Wizard Twin list on MTGO. Been playing a bunch of different leagues and trying different things. We're gonna see how it goes. This is the list that I'm running. It basically, this is our draft one, right? Or Izzet Twin 1.0. We are going with the we played Izzet Wizards over the summer, pre Modern Horizons 3, and we've done some variations and testings of it. So I was like, all right, what if I just go this route? We're going to continue to use Tamiyo in here as our little friend to help us get our wizard stuff. We're going to use Flame of Anor stuff. So we're doing a playset of Flame of Anor, playset of Tamiyos. Of course, we're doing the energy package. I still like it. I don't know. Tune the Narrative, Galvanic Discharge. We're only doing 2 Galvanic Discharge. I think if you're going to go Izzet Wizards or any variation of Izzet Twin, going for the Lightning Bolt is necessary. You need a playset. So that's why we're doing this meant 4 of these and 2 of these. Also, I like the idea of having Galvanic Discharge if I go against the mirror matchup. It gives me another answer against a Deceiver, which I might not normally be able to answer. So we're going to try that and see how that works. 4 Preordained, 4 Snapcasters, 4 Counterspells. It's pretty much stock list. I'm doing the Singleton Pestermite in mine. Just in the off chance things go bad and we get our stuff surgical or something, I still want a way to win because we're all in on the twin, right? That's our game plan. I guess you could do the bolt, snap, bolt stuff. So that's kind of the way that is. Our sideboard definitely needs some adjustments. I'm fine with the consigns, especially with like Moxes and things going around here. Stern Scolding. I'm probably going to up my number of Stern Scoldings based on what I'm seeing and how things are going. Dress Down's still in here. I don't know. Like, these are the ones that are like not very good or comfortable with right now. Like Obsidian Charmal, 4/4 flyer, blows up a non-basic land, costs less if your opponent has lands that produce colorless mana. I don't know. Maybe it's just not. It doesn't feel very good. Harbinger of the Seas is sweet. The only thing is, we currently have 1 mountain, so our list it's a little rocky in that regard. We definitely need a second mountain if we're going to do Harbinger of the Seas, because you need 2 mountains to be able to cast Splinter Twin. Fine with Surgical, you need Graveyard Hate. The Pyroclasm's great. I might even up that number. I've got 1 extra discharge in there, but this is the deck. So then let's jump over and show you guys the league itself. How did we do? 5 rounds. Let's do it. All right, we're doing the replay mode of it, so we'll go through it here. We ship that hand back. Oh gosh, hold on. I don't think we can. I forget how fast it goes on here, but we didn't have enough lands going, so we shipped it back, and now we're kind of left with a rocky one to start with. But we've got some Tamiyos, we got some lands, so we're hoping to kind of make it happen. We opt to go for the Tamiyo instead of killing the bird or bolting the bird here for the halfling because, based on seeing the halfling, it's like, okay, there's probably something scarier coming out, and a Grist to start things out. Trading things off is not that bad for us. We can at least kill their Grist and then follow up with a follow-up Tamiyo. So we're kind of like speed mode going through here. If you want it to do a little slower and like actually play through the league games, we can talk through it. But I wanted to do the replay mode for things here. So Agatha's Soul Cauldron is a little bit scary because that's going to make that Dryad Arbor, bigger. And I do know that we do a misplay here with this Dryad Arbor because, sometimes you make mistakes when you're playing and grinding and doing some games and stuff like that. But let's see if you guys notice the mistakes we made. But we're going to start popping, drawing some cards. Let's get our Tamiyo to flip. And then let's weaken that Dryad Arbor a little bit. Yeah, it'll be a 2/2. And it will now be able to tap for mana that can't be countered. But, So yeah, it's a 3/3. It gets scary. Swinging 2. And hey, here's a Grist. Like, look how quick this goes. The fact that I forget that Grist gets to sacrifice and destroy a Planeswalker is one of those, like, oh no. But we're set up for the twin win here. So we are just trying to bait our opponent out and, like, distract them with Tamiyos. Like, look, it's just an Izzet Wizard list. And I guess we could have gone a different route and gone for another Tamiyo stuff. So yeah, here's that the misplays coming up, I think. Combat. I sat here and mathed it out. I was like, oh, he's got 2 counters on it. He's a 3/3, he's a 1/1, and I lightning bolt it and it becomes a 4/4. So I basically did nothing and lost 2 cards for the price of for free and did nothing. Nothing happened there other than me just being dumb. So now I have to hope for the best that we can get there. A bunch of counter spells, sure, we'll draw a counter spell. The hope is that we can jam this Deceiver on the end step and hope it's enough to get there. That's kind of where we're at with this first game here. Yeah, Triad Arbor. Look at this. Just Elvish Reclaimer. Things are getting crazy. Big damage, dropping us to 8. Could be worse. Let's try to end the game. Our opponent has nothing left in hand, so we can kind of go for the win here. We're based on what we're seeing. That should be nothing that they could do. They're surveilling. Sacking, drawing a card. Okay, so there is something they could do. They could have drawn like a Fatal Push or something like that. But they don't. So they don't. That's basically what they're digging for, right? All that. They're going to sit here and do some surveilling, do some drawing. So we get the twin win. Sometimes that's how it works out with game number 1. You just kind of jam it in there and it's enough. Even with our misplays, we still got there. So let's go take a look at game number 2 here. All right, game number 2, post-sideboard stuff. Basically, we're looking for Pyroclasms. We're adding in... Pyroclasms was our main one. I think we added an extra Galvanic Discharge, and we shaved on some of our draw effects, like the Tamiyos and things like that. And we get to see some counter spells. We pitch it to the graveyard here. Being on the draw, again, we'd rather draw into our land or position ourselves in a better spot to get the twin win again. Opponent is ramping up very, very quickly. This is going to be one of those things, like there's going to be a lot of different green decks that are running around on MTGO and probably online as well, if you're wondering, because of things like Green Sun Zenith being unbanned. They tried to land a Soul Cauldron. That's kind of our main avenue that we're going to be focusing on attacking and trying to fight over. They land a Bowmaster here, which is annoying because we need to do some digging, but we have a lot of ways to kind of delay things. We've got our discharge that we can shoot the Bowmaster if we happen to get a lot more draw effects, or save it and use it in a different way. There's a Green Sun Zenith for 3, and this shows kind of a little bit more information about what the deck's doing. It does care a lot about the lands, right? We got to see the Elvish Reclaimer game number 1. We're seeing the Tireless Tracker here, and we're just going to slowly tap things down and hope for the best. Here's a Tamiyo. Doesn't really help us, but it's another body to block with here. Now, again, if you're trying to kill off a Deceiver or fight against it, if you're running a green-based deck or one of the green decks out there, that gives us, Fatal Push and things like that. This is also a thing where us running the one of Pestermite is really important for decks that are doing this, that are running, Urza's Saga, they're running Pithing Needles, and they're trying to stop us from comboing and say, okay, we'll shut that down, which is annoying. We can't block here because he's got the clues. He'll just pop it and draw cards. So even though we do make lots of mistakes, we at least didn't make that mistake. Let's kill off the Grist here. We opted to go for that instead of fighting over the Orcish Bowmaster, knowing what was being targeted. We knew we'd lose the Tamiyo, so it didn't really matter too much. And now we at least have a Snapcaster, Galvanic Discharge, or Snapcaster counter spell. So we have some options here. Ugh, yeah. And Agatha Soul Cauldron, again, is the main area that we need to fight. So we're going to be Snapcastering, countering that, knowing that our opponent is basically hellbent. We can try to go and fight in these avenues here. Yes, their creatures are getting bigger and scarier, but they're scared to attack at the moment. So we're okay with that. And again, we're just kind of needing a way to draw into Splinter Twin here. Things are going to get scary, though, with the kind of bigger creatures that are popping up. Our goal is to try to keep the Pestermite hidden as long as possible. And just, now things are pretty much wrapped up for our opponent here. Them being able to get access to the Haywire Mite is really bad for us, because if we try to combo off, you just pop the Haywire Mite and you put a stop to that. So if you're running the green-based decks and you're wondering how to fight against the Splinter Twin stuff, this is one of the ways that you should be trying to fight over it, right? Is use things like that. But now we're getting to see the power of these two creatures together, just kind of rocking it out here. Elvish Reclaimer, Tireless Tracker, let's get more clues, and we're going to kind of build it up. At some point, we're going to have to pop the clue, right? At some point we are. Yes, we'll take some damage. Take a lot of damage. Yeah. So hey, here's the thing right here. We're digging for something, maybe a removal spell, maybe, something to help us out here. But really, we were dead. He could pop one of these clues. This would become 4 power. 7 plus the 8 there. There's not much we could have done. But that was game number 2. Let's see how game 3 ends up. All right, game 3. Now, let me know what decks... Oh, look at this hand here, right? We got the Pyroclasm. We've got all the removal spells that we need. Nothing, no combo stuff to go other than the Splinter Twin, but, we're doing okay with what we've got to work with. So, lots of removal is very nice to help us kind of fight over. We know how crazy the deck can get and how overwhelming this rock-based deck can go. And hope that Green Sun Zenith for 1. Yeah, they're going to start ramping. Bolt the bird stuff. Maybe we can delay a little bit here. Just continuing to draw lands makes it a little bit harder. Rumble's coming out. But yeah, let me know what decks you guys want to see next. Is it going to be more twin stuff? I might be doing some artifacts and Mox Opal decks. We'll probably pick a Green Sun Zenith list to jam out with and play. But yeah, let me know. Let me know. We'll start doing some sprinkling of MTGO content on the weekends for y'all to be able to enjoy. Urza Saga is, of course, annoying. Going to be a bit of a problem. Look at how much stuff's getting filled into the graveyard here. Lots of lands. Nothing too crazy, though. Yeah, we don't... Like, Pyroclasm's not worth it here. There's nothing going on that's, like, really a problem. Bowmaster is a problem for us to want to draw cards, but we can kind of wait a little bit on that. Yeah, we'll see some constructs be made. We are just going to respond early on just to be on the safe side in case there is something like a Pithing Needle that names our fetch land. It's not going to happen, but it's one of those. Yeah, let's do it. All right, there's plenty of creatures out here. Let's go for the Pyroclasm. Of course, we'll generate some mana. We're going to pop this. Opponent's going to gain some life. Now they've got a Bowmaster, which is annoying, but that's okay. We can deal with a Bowmaster out here. We've got a Snapcaster. We got some bolts, so we can always flash back a Pyroclasm if we need to. Yeah, let's just kind of clear that up and see what our opponent ends up going for here. If they try to, yeah, if they go for the Grist, we at least have the... Oh, wait, we can't do the Spell Pierce because guess what? As long as Grist isn't on the battlefield, it's a creature, and this is only for non-creatures. So the one time that the Spell Pierce feels really bad for us, and it goes, yeah, that sucks. We got by that. I was like, I feel like there was another moment in this matchup where I made a misplay, but that was it right there. We saw it. All right, the beatdowns are coming. Fulminator Mage. So Fulminator Mage is a bit of a problem because if our opponent is going to rely on a Fatal Push, that's our avenue that we have to deal with, because you need to have something disappear from the battlefield, and sacrificing Fulminator Mage gives you another avenue to do that. All right. 3 damage coming across. We're not worried about it. Now we can try to force a little bit of the issue, see if they're going to fight over it. They don't really fight over it, but now we're going to try to do some Deceiver and tap down one of their lands. Let's see what we have happen here. Yeah, this is one of those weird moments where you're like,
why didn't you just jam it and go for it? I don't know. I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel safe. So let's see. All right, they push us here, and now this is all right. Hold on. Okay, so I got greedy here, and instead of waiting until next turn, I was like, okay, they wasted their fatal push. They've gone through so much of their library so far, right? Their graveyard has 21 cards in it. They got 31 cards left in their deck. You know, they had 4 cards in hand. They used 1 of it. Maybe this is the opportunity, the window to go and try to make it happen. No, we saw that they utilized that sacrifice of the Fulminator Mage. The push came through, so why would we go again like this? They can't push it otherwise, so we got here. Yeah, we got here. Like a fool. And now we're stuck. I feel like if we had just waited this turn, they would have still had a push, but like now we're in trouble. They're going to try to do a Soul Cauldron. We at least have the counter spell. They're going to push for damage. You know, at some point we have to trade. So we get rid of the Orc army in case another Orcish Bowmaster comes out. Green for 2. Ugh. Here's a 10-10. Do we get a... Nope, we don't get anything. Here you go. Have a Splinter Twin on your friend. Yeah. So that we kicked ourselves over that one. Ugh. It was one of the... it was our game to lose, and we punted. But, hey, first game of the lobby. First game playing the twin list online. We make mistakes like that. So that is what it is. So let's jump over and show you guys not game 2, round 2. We got 5 rounds of this. So let's keep it moving. Keep the games flowing. All right, round 2 underway. Pretty decent start here. Okay, hold on. I just wanted to, I know it goes really fast. Pretty decent start with what we've got going on here. We got 2 lands. We've got, draw effects. We got removal effects. We've got interaction to our opponent. We have 1 of our combo pieces. So, is a pretty solid way to start things out. Our opponent starting with Sylvan Safekeeper, though, does kind of red flag, our removal that we have is not going to go so well. If we had an untapped red source, then that would be great. We did not, so we kind of are stuck in this awkward spot here that we got to force our opponent to start blowing up their own lands. It's going to be another green-based deck that we're fighting against here. And it's a Samewise combo deck here. So this is going to be caring about food. Every time you're going to be casting a non-token creature, or sorry, when it enters, you get to create a food. So yeah, we're going to try to force a land destruction here. We know that's not going to work. That's annoying that they got a Bowmaster off it, but here they're generating food. But maybe we can be able to piece something together, draw our 3rd land, and just kind of keep things flowing and moving. We've got, again, a lot of interaction. I might adjust the spell pierces and do 1 main board, 1 sideboard, and take a spell snare and maybe add that in there. But yeah, we're getting the swarm. Also, I might just add the pyroclasms in the main deck after seeing stuff like this, where it's like, man, a pyroclasm here just it does everything we need it to. All right, we're going to kill off the Samewise here. Yeah, we should have maybe killed the Silver Safekeeper, but, we know that that's part of a combo, so we got to, deal with that the best we can. All right, lots of fetching, lots of surveilling. Another Bowmaster. So this is one of those, well, if you got it, you got it. Nothing I can do about it. I'll just force you to blow up some more of your lands and hope for the best here. Now, we need a land and a twin, and we win. But we don't get a land, and we don't get twin. more food getting generated over here. We can at least... So we have the option of just like... Alright, here's the decision-making line. If we don't flash this in now, we can trade off and probably kill off. Like, our opponent probably just swings with everything again, and we just kind of flash this in, probably untap this Thundering Falls, and block and kill off the Safekeeper, and then they stop being able to attack. But now it's just kind of like, yeah, we'll tap this down, and nothing happens. They don't attack, so we miss out on, like, in an instant right here where they're going to be dumping a bunch of stuff, like a Green Sun Zenith, we could have Spell Pierced that and stop that from happening. But now we end up kind of, again, getting got. It's like there's lines that we're noticing now that we didn't in the moment, but that's part of learning the new meta and trying to figure things out. Again, like, if we just wait and do this untap thing, we are better positioned here. Like, he swings in with creatures, we do some blocks, we'll be okay. Hey, is that draw number 3 of not hitting a land? It is draw number 3 of not hitting a land, for all you keeping track at home. Still looking for the digging effects here. We're not going to get it, though. We're not. It's not going to happen. We're taking lots of damage. We have to draw cards. Play your goose. Excellent. Hey, we got Twin, but it doesn't matter because we didn't draw our land for 4 turns in a row. So that's kind of the downside to this. We made a couple of misplays with our casting Deceiver and doing some blockies. That happens. Let's see what post sideboard when we got access to Pyroclasm. We don't really care about. I guess Surgicals is also good here because of the Cold and Familiar. Seeing that, we know that there are foods that you can sacrifice and be able to go that route. So those are the 4 cards that we're going to want to bring in this matchup here. Let's jump over to game number 2. All right, we're on the play. Look at this hand. Like, it's just all... It says, hey, you didn't get to draw enough cards last time, so what if you draw all the cards this time? And that's kind of where we're at here. So let's start with some Tune the Narrative. Yes, we could have done it on our opponent's turn. It's all the same. It doesn't really matter. And we lose our counterspell there, which hurts, but Stern Scolding is really nice. We don't end up drawing it because we can't use it, and if we get hit with the Thought Seeds again, it's not worth it. Sacrifice Outlet coming out here with the Viscera Seer. So we know that he just dumped another one into his graveyard, so we can fight over that and kind of clear that out of the way. There are, you know, it's tough when you're fighting against a creature-based deck like this, that you know what you want to fight, but we're just kind of drawing cards and trying to set up and hope for the best here. And we're going to be hit with another Thought Seize, sorry, and stripping away even more of our hand. So that's 2 Thought Seizes, 3 Thought Seizes here by turn 3. But now we've got some ways, like, he knows we have Sink to Stupor. He knows the last card is in our hand, and we're kind of left hoping for the best. They don't really do anything. We throw a Tamiyo in the graveyard, and here's a Bowmaster that's going to try to put a stop to us drawing a bunch of cards. We do have 1 piece for a combo, though, so we're getting there. Now we just need a Deceiver or a Pestermite, preferably a Deceiver, because we know that our opponent runs the Bowmasters and they're making a lot happen with them. Ugh, Grixis is tough. Yep. All right, we're gonna attempt to Sink to Stupor and bounce this back to our opponent's hand, and they hit us with the Veil of Summer, so we are forced into drawing cards anyway, because we have to dig for a combo piece to get us out of this situation. And Birthing Ritual makes things even worse for us because they get to start seeing so many cards, and they have so much set up on board to kind of build them into things. But there's a Splinter Twin coming out. Number 2, no Deceiver, no Pestermite at the moment. So at some point we're going to have to pull the trigger on that clue and end up drawing a card. Green Sun Zenith for 2. We're going to say no. You only have 1 card left in hand. If you're going to look for stuff, you got to use it off of your Birthing Ritual here. Gris just going to make more tokens. Oh, and the last card in their hand, of course, was Court of Calling. So, yeah, there's Sam coming out. What do we hit? Hey, here is our Cauldron Familiar. None of this matters. We're going to draw a card to see if we can get anything out of this. No. So, here's how this combo works. Viscera Seer will sacrifice our Cauldron Familiar. Cauldron Familiar will sacrifice this food. Come back. Whenever another non-token creature you control enters, create a food token. So with these two, you get to do the drain and gain all day long here. So yeah, Samewise combo getting the best of us here in round number 2. Can we get a round that we don't have to fight against a Green Sun Zenith deck? Turns out we have a hard time, and we will be adjusting our deck to help better set up for those rounds. But we just let ourselves die here. Perfectly fine. GG's. Let's jump over to round number 3 here. Maybe we'll get lucky with a non-green deck. All right, round 3. Currently 0-2 because we fought 2 green decks in a row. Pretty solid opening. Again, we have 1 piece of our combo. We have a decent number of lands to kind of interact with our opponent. Like Counterspell, Spell Pierce, things like that. Ooh, a blue deck that we're fighting against here. Oh, Dimir. Oh, no. Is this a Murktide? Is this Frogtide? What are we fighting here? Yeah, again, we're all reactions all the time right now. Oh, Thoughtseize. We're fine with it. Like, if they're going to go for the Thoughtseize based on what we have enough annoying things that it doesn't bother us. Again, we're just looking to draw another land and a Deceiver or a Pestermite here. Well, there's a Pestermite. Now we need another land. A Bowmaster. That's fine. We can kill that if we need to. Probably could have last turn hit him with a lightning bolt, but it is actually a... So this is our first big reveal of what we're fighting against. It is a Esper Satoru the Infiltrator deck. So whenever Satoru the Infiltrator and or 1 or more non-token creatures you control enter, if none of them are cast and no mana was spent to cast them, you get to draw a card. So this is like our first reveal of how they're going to do it. We're going to try to put a shutdown on that with Counterspell, and they're going to be able to unearth it. So the unearth is one of those like big effects that they're trying to go for here. But so we know that they're going for that. We're going to try to fight over it here. And Snapcaster, we have a bolt. We're doing this instead of just going for the win with Pestermite is because we're fighting against a blue deck. We got to try something. And they hit us with the Spell Pierce to bring it back instead of stripping one of our combo pieces. Is awesome for us to see. Maybe they got tunnel vision with the Flame of Anor or something, or maybe they're not used to seeing the Pestermite here. I don't, and they're used to seeing Deceiver. I don't know. We're gonna see, or maybe they thought that they'd have enough resources to fight over on the following turns, but we're not gonna fight over that. That's Cryptic Code is fine. It's fine. Seeing that they have Prismatic Ending, I don't expect to see a path to exile here. So we go and try to jam it down the end step to tap down potentially their Fatal Push or something like that. And now we're going to try to Splinter Twin. And, ooh, they're going to try to draw some cards. Maybe they're looking for a Force of Negation or something here and do not end up finding it. So that does give us the win here for the first match here. So let's see what post sideboard is going to have in store for us. All right, post sideboard, again, we go for the Surgical Extractions for this matchup. Not really much else do we need here. We're pretty happy with what we got in the main. It's fine. Like, we don't have any of our combo pieces, but we're expecting a longer, grindier game. So keeping the Tamiyo here and going for that route, and with the Flame of Nor, we should be all right. We don't have as much interaction here, so we're kind of trying to set ourselves up. We could have gone for the Preordain, and losing both those right off the bat is annoying, because that's kind of where our path to victory, or at least our path to increasing our advantages. We go for the land and bin, or at least put the Deceiver on the bottom here, because we already have the Pestermite. We're looking for some other tools. The Stern Scolding's nice, though, because it gives us a little bit of ways to interact, especially when our opponent is hurting on lands. We do have a little bit more flexibility here. So the attempt for the Bowmaster, we're okay with that, because that would get him, of course, a draw effect, setting himself up here, because, yeah, and or one or more non-token creatures. Oh, I guess not that, but yeah. All right, so here is our Dawnbringer Cleric. It's basically just super utility. Destroy target enchantment, exile target creature from a graveyard. So you might be wondering, how is that relevant? Well, he's got flicker effects. We saw them earlier in game 1, the Ephemerates and things like that. So we know that he is going to be trying to go for that route. So we are going to be trying to battle in that sense, fight over that. And if we need to, we can be able to try to kill this off. All right, let's do a Snapcaster. Try to go for Stern Scolding. There's the first Ephemerate. And if he's wasting these now to fight over this gives us kind of a little bit of a sigh of relief, going, okay, maybe there'll be less threats when we try to combo off and go for the kill here. Counterspell, that's fine. At least we have a flyer that we can put a clock on our opponent as well. So they're at 12, we're at 11. Ephemerate is going to be able to rebound it, so we do get, of course, drawing effects. We got to do a bunch of stuff, and let's see if we can now try to zap him. But we got to follow it up with another Ephemerate. How about that? No, you do not get to use that lightning bolt. So now we at least have blockers, so if he tries to push for damage, we could be able to fight it. We go for Stoneforge. It's quickly cleaned up with the counter spell. So now we're Hellbent. They have 2 cards left. They have ways to draw cards, but we just top deck Splinter Twin and just get there. So sitting 1 and 2 right now in the league. So made some misplays in the first couple games. We're definitely playing a little bit cleaner now here. So let's see what the last 2 rounds of the pod have in store for us. All right, round number 4. All right, so we look at this hand. It's decent to keep because, we have 2 lands for sure. Steam Vents, Scalding Tarn, Counterspell. Sink to Stupor gives us some flexibility, whether it becomes a land or if we need to use it. We've got, of course, 2 Deceivers and a Flame of Venor. So we've got some removal. We've got some draw. We've got some interaction here. So this is fine to keep. All right. And then we do see our playing against another blue-black deck. So is this our Frogtide list? We'll see. Consider's going. So, yeah, you're seeing the Consider. So this is giving us more of the, oh, okay, it is going to be a Frog Adventures. I keep trying to pause it to move the stack from down here. There it is. Go up here. All right. We throw a Snapcaster, which, looking back at it right now, we're playing against a blue deck. I don't think you ever want to throw Snapcasters in the graveyard. I don't think so. I think it, even if the game goes on long, it gives us more options to do stuff. Move the stack. Why is the stack way down there? All right. Harbinger of the Seas is coming out. We do have to fight over this because, we don't get access to our... because, again, we messed up with our land base, and we only have 1 mountain. So going and playing this list again, we would make sure we have at least 2 mountains so Harbinger doesn't hose us. All right, let's try to tap one of his lands and maybe go for the win. Let's try to jam it. Let's just try. Force a negation. All right. Okay. You're gonna make us play it out. We'll play it out. Oh, Grixis. So not just going for the Dimir. Okay. What do you get red for? Do you also have twin in yours? Are you faking me out with a frog twin? I don't know. Oh. Exile. Yep. Eyeball. Oculus. A problem. Flame of Anor going to help us clear that up. And let's hope we can just draw a Splinter Twin. Double Lightning Bolt is an option, right? I mean, 1 damage a turn is not really where we want to be. It's also dangerous to, like, throw an eyeball in the graveyard knowing that, yeah, there's unearths and things like that that the deck runs, so I don't know. Go back to your hand. Let's delay for now. Okay, Tamiyo's not bad. And we still just kind of chip away at our opponent. Problem is, the Oculus is a flyer. 5/5 flyer. So Tamiyo can't get us any clues. All the best we can do is be a blocker here. Alright, let's try it. Let's try it. Imagine if we had Twin here and we went for the double bolt and followed up with the Splinter Twin. That would have been chef kiss. Amazing. We would have won. But we didn't. They had another Force of Negation. So we can get beat up a lot by the Oculus. Eventually we are hoping that we can jam something in here, draw a card. Let's see if we can land a Snapcaster Flame of Anor here. Alright, attempting to Flame of Anor. And gonna shut down and put a stop to that Tamiyo that we had, which is annoying, but okay. A little bit of a frog flip. That is that manifestation, of course. We'll be able to flip it over. We're gonna give that flying, and now we can push for damage. 2 cards in hand will become 3. Thought Scour, and let's follow it up with our lovely Harbinger of the Seas. So we're going to draw still no other Splinter Twin. Push for damage because we know we can. Now we can clean this up and give us some access to our red mana again, which puts us in a weird spot. We're holding on to our Otawara in case there is another Oculus. We, of course, float red mana, and we can discharge. We're using discharge here in case we need to end the game with a bolt, snap, bolt situation. Oculus is annoying. Yes, we have an Otawara to deal with it, but there's plenty of stuff in the graveyard, so we can have them just recast it, and it's like, ugh, okay. Yeah, that's 1 card left in hand. That's even worse for us. Flipping another Oculus underneath of it from the manifestation is like, well, yep, guess we're going to run the block here and hope that we can top deck a Splinter Twin. That's another land, not a Splinter Twin. Any lucks? What do they got? Another one. Another? They just got them all? Okay. All right. Well, it doesn't really matter what we do here. So we'll tap 1 and swing in. We'll make this fly. We'll dump our hand and kill the lovely little Izzet Twin player here. Nothing we could do. So that's, of course, grindy first matchup. You know, look at this. 26 cards were exiled. They had 17 cards left in their library. We had 33. So I don't think there was too many glaring mistakes. Maybe. Let me know. But let's go to game number 2. Let's see what game 2 has in store for us. Okay, game 2. All right. 1 lander. We pitched the bolt here because we kept a 1 lander. We were super greed mode, which you might go, why would you do that? But we wanted to be greedy. Let's see if we can get a Tamiyo. Now we assume this is going to die based on them shocking this in, and that's fine. I mean, it's not fine, but it's, you know, it is what it is. Them landing a frog here really hurts because if we, I don't know, if we kept the bolt, maybe, but now we're left in this. Let's try to tap down the Psychic Frog and hope we can just kind of clean things up here. Maybe we'll top deck Splinter Twin, you know, go from that route. Push for damage here. We gotta hope that we can Flame of Anor and zap this Psychic Frog. Yeah, we don't go for it. So we go for the Bolt of the Face instead. I don't know. I think it's like, if we bolt here, I think it's because we know that there are counter spells and stuff our opponent is running that we just don't feel like we can get away with what we want to. And I think we're just going for the trying to close things out and race our opponent here. Murktide in the graveyard, Frog in the graveyard. Not hitting an Oculus yet, but they're getting close probably. Now they're going to start pushing for damage, and we're going to race. Unearth. Let's try to stop that. They're going to counter our counter spell, which is annoying. Alright. Now we can't fly in. And they can start closing out the game here. Let's see. Can we kill that? Alright, we can at least kill the Oculus. We'll take some more damage, but they have so many cards in it. Like, Frog is such an amazing card. I'm so glad it's banned in Legacy now. I don't know if anyone's been seeing the list of decks running around in. Oh, this is a bit of a blowout here. Yeah, that's the stuff we're afraid of. Surgical Extraction, targeting our Flame of Anor. We tried to respond with our Flame of Anor from our hand. That just gets hit with the Force of Negation. So the game is all but wrapped up here. We could just kind of watch our opponent piece together the victory here, because it's never a good moment when you're a blue deck fighting against another blue deck that has unmatched ability to gain card advantage off of this Frog, and that's kind of, there's a reason why that this is the best card and constantly being banned in formats. Maybe we can top deck into a Splinter Twin and hope that our opponent doesn't have anything. Nope, doesn't matter. We get a Spell Pierce. And we have to block. Otherwise we die. Look, you have a Spell Pierce. Do we get anything? Nope, nothing worthwhile. Okay, maybe we could tap it down and buy us another turn. But what if they hit us with a Stink of Super and we don't have any way to recast it? So nope, no luck here. Sitting 1 and 3 right now. Maybe we can hope for our final round to piece together something. Had no luck against green decks. This was a closer one, but I think it's just Psychic Frog is just too good of a card. I feel like there is a world where you could Psychic Frog Twin and just do that route instead of going for like the Oculuses. You just take that package out and turn that into the Splinter Twin package and be perfectly fine. Maybe we'll run one of those Grixis Twin lists at some point. There's also Tarma Twin. You know, maybe we'll do a couple different Twin lists for a while, but that was round 4. Let's finish it up with our final round tonight. All right, final round of our Izzet Twin adventures here. Look at this hand. All right, this is the kind of hand that we like to see. You have both your combo pieces. Got some setup here with some Preordained, Lightning Bolt, 3 lands. Like this is one of those. Maybe we could just turn 4 win. All right, but we see this Crumbling Vistage across the table. That gives us that indication we're playing against some Amulet variation, and they're doing a Green Sun for 0, aka give me a Dryad Arbor now. We ignore the Dryad Arbor for the time being because we want to try to set ourselves up with maybe, again, the Tamiyo stuff. That is really bad for us. The Dryad of Elysium Grove to start things out, like a turn 2 Dryad of Elysium Grove, gross. No, thank you. We set ourselves up with a Tamiyo, and because again we can't do anything for another turn. Like this Gretchen is really cool with the list. I like seeing this one. It's very heavy on the blue-green stuff. Let's do some zapping. Let's do some flipping, and now we can kind of slow down whatever damage might be coming our way. And we are tapped out. No Force Negation in this list, so Prime Evil Titan's going to come on out and start to cause a problem. Urza Saga, nothing too crazy here. Yeah, Lotus is going to be our adventures to follow it up. So Lotus Field combo Titan. But we have 4 mana. They're going to be tapping, setting themselves up here. And we can be able to an Amulet. So they're really setting up to try to kill us this turn. And we're just going to say, no, you may not attack. Put that in sleepy time mode. Draw a card, put an extra land on the battlefield. That's fine. We don't care. What's your colorless land going to do to stop us? Nothing. How about a Splinter Twin? How about I activate this Splinter Twin, make a copy of Deceiver, and rinse and repeat. We got the Twin combo. Game 1 goes to us. Let's see what sideboard options have in store. All right, Game 2. Stern Scolding is our #1 card of choice. We bring those in to help us fight and go about things. We also bring in Harbinger of the Seas. Again, why? Why did we do that? We can't use Harbinger of the Seas because we can't win with Harbinger of the Seas. We go and zap and kill the Hex Drinker because the Hex Drinker can become a problem later on. If just kind of left alone, it's just going to be dumped all this extra mana into it, and yeah, it becomes an issue. So we're digging. We have Deceiver. We have Splinter Twin. We're hoping for the best here. And another Green Sun. We cannot counter it. And this is an interesting choice here. The Elvish Reclaimer. Getting some additional threats out to kind of be annoying. But again, we have Counterspell. We have Splinter Twin. I don't like to go for the Deceivers or things like that unless we have our 4th land. That's my preference for it. Like, yeah, you could just jam it and hope for the best. I don't know. I like the let's play it safe. All right. We don't consign here, and maybe that was a mistake. I think it is better to go for the consign, and harbingering out doesn't help us. It actually hinders us more than helping us. But I think the consigning the Amulet was probably the right play. But we're just kind of building up here. Oh my gosh, so many amulets, so much problems happening. Yeah, because if we had consigned the first amulet, we have another consign for the second one. I think it's just like, all right, now things are getting bad. Look at this. Here we go. All the amulet triggers. For all you amulet fans, we're going to let you see how cool this deck is. Generate mana. So they got 6 mana. Let's attempt to counterspell it. Oh, let's do it again. Yep. Here's a Summoner's Pack. We're going to cast it again. Oh, do you have another counterspell? Yeah, but you missed your land drop, so you can't do anything. Boreal Grazer. What if we just generate even more mana? How does that sound? Does not sound good unless you're an Amulet Titan fan. Then you're probably loving this. Yeah, what are we up to? Lots of mana. Still 6 mana left. We can try and hope that that's enough. Here's a consign on the trigger. Nope. Hey, what if we had a second Summoner's Pack and say we're winning this turn? It doesn't matter. I do think that was where we went wrong, not consigning the first amulet. Like, if we had stopped the first one, I think we would have been in a better spot. Still going to generate a lot of mana. All right, how are you going to win, though? What are you going to do? Okay, Gretchen's nice. So this is that downside that we noticed. Draw a card. You can put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. So you just generate a bunch of mana. You will then be able to tap, 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 float this mana, draw a card, play a land, same land, do the same thing. Tap, untap, tap, untap, draw some cards. Cool. I want to see how they win through here, though. Because if, as of right now, they have not presented a way to kill me. So it's like, all right, yes, you're generating a lot of mana. That's great. But what are you doing with all this mana? Drawing cards. Yes, I see that. Okay, cool. What are you digging for? Are you Cultivator Colossus here? Like, what's the route? What are you doing? How are you going to do it? Another prime time. Oh, that's a problem. Okay, so maybe that's what you were digging for. Still doesn't have haste. What are we getting? Okay, Valacuts. All right, so am I dying to Valacut triggers? Not this turn. Because then you still need to get a Dryad of Elysium Grove to kill me. So what do you... I don't know, you got 10 mana. Means you can essentially draw 2 more cards. Okay, more than that. Essentially, they're at this point where they're not going to stop. But we see the Dryad of Elysium Grove, and so once they have that, we see the line of like, okay, cool. They have assembled a way to draw their whole deck, continue to play lands, and kind of go from there. Eventually, they will be able to assemble enough pieces to kill us there. So, yes, we were close, but we messed up not consigning the trigger off of the Urza Saga. Let's see what Game 3 has for us. All right, final game, final round of our Izzet Twin MTGO League. Let's see how we do in game number 3. We get to go first, which is nice. Is this a keepable? Well, we already keep it, but let's take a look real quick. Another one lander that we're kind of greedy towards. We don't go for the preordain. Part of that is we have 2 ways to stop a turn 1 amulet. Spell Pierce and Consign. So hopefully it's enough. Hey, it is enough to get the Spell Pierce going. And now we got to hope we don't get punished on the follow-up. Well, Tamiyo. All right, get a land. Another land we want to keep on top. Now, if they go for another amulet here, we're in trouble. If they don't, okay, sweet. There's the Valacut. Tamiyo, land, tapped is fine. We're basically setting ourselves up with a flame next turn. Okay, we're not going to let them get it again. We're going to hit them with a consign, countering that. Something that we learned from last time. Draw another consign, which is nice. So we can just sort of pass turn, generate some stuff. We could do the flame here, but saving the flame, because it is instant speed, is also good. If they play another artifact or a creature, we have double options here. Spelunking. So this is kind of like Amulet, but slightly different. And so, you know, let's just draw a card. We can afford to do the waiting. Because nothing is happening that another Spelunking. No. That's fine. You can do that. Alright. Splinter Twin. We kept that on top there. Part of that is like on the off chance something happens and our first one doesn't go through. You know, there's 4 in the deck, so having the other one is probably fine. So they're going to return Urza Saga here. What do they got left? Nothing else. Okay. We're still holding the Flame of Anor, you notice. And we're going to just pop both clues here. Instead of doing it on our turn, we really want to just like utilize our mana the best we can. And that's one of the ways to be able to do it. Now, we could pay 3 and do it. But again, that's, I don't know. It's risky. Making a token, that's fine. What are they going to do? Make another token. Counter the trigger again, and look at this. Oh, so they were really going to go that turn, all right? The Micro Synth Garden, they were going to be able to make a copy of a bunch of them. Another Spelunking coming out. That's annoying, but it's not the worst. We can take 2 if we really wanted to. Yep, it's fine. Now we're going to do draw 2 cards, flip, clean up one of those, and we'll just keep drawing cards. We're digging. We're in dig mode. So Sink the Stupor is nice in case they try to cast a Primeval Titan. Yeah, that's fine. That is not fine. So we let that go through because they were searching for something that costs like 2 or less, or for 1. Greens and Zenith for 1. So we know it's not going to, like, what, you're going to get an Arboreal Grazer here. You're going to get, okay, you get an Elvish Reclaimer. That's fine. 3 mana is scary if they're going for that. 4 mana, you know, anything above that we want to put a stop to. So Dryad of Elysium Grove, you do not want to let resolve. It allows more land drops. It allows for them to win through Valakut. So we cannot let that resolve. And we'll hit that with the counter spell here. And we'll just shoot that. We'll return a counter spell. We're okay to like weaken our Tamiyo here. This is also going to try to bait our opponent into attacking it. And they're going to green for 2. We just got the counter spell back, so we're fine with it. They drop down a Dryad Arbor, and now they're going to try to clean up our Tamiyo, which we can then Snapcaster. They have 2 cards left in hand, so we feel a little bit more comfortable going for this route, especially because we have an Otawara, we have a Sink to Stupor, so we could do a little bit of trade-off here and clean that up. Flame of Venor. Yeah, they get the Amulet. Again, we don't really care so much. We just draw extra cards here. Now we have the invert polarity, so they have access to double Amulet. But they can't really let anything stick here, right? We have 1, 2, 3, 4 possible answers to whatever they try to, you know, resolve. And we're just going to keep fetching, setting ourselves up, hoping for the best. There's 5 cards we need to draw, and we have not found any of them. 18 cards in our graveyard here. Splinter Twin. Nope, put that in the bottom. There we go. All right. Just to make sure. We could have probably jammed it that turn, but, you know, they do nothing on their turn. Let's throw it down, untap one of our lands just in case. And now let's just do a jam it out. Do we get the Splinter Twin win? We get the Splinter Twin win. Boo, 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 boo. We win. All right, so that was the end of round number 5. Let's show you guys the deck one last time here. Where did I put that? Over here. Let's pull it up again. So 2 and 3 with the list. Is it this one? There we go. 2 and 3 with the list. Not bad. We definitely want to add another mountain in here, especially since we're running Harbinger of the Seas. It really is very all in. We're not running the Thunder Trap trainers. I like having Tamiyo. It's really good. I don't know. I am going to adjust the number of spell pierces that we've got. I think 1 and 1 is probably the path to go for and do the Stern Scoldings and stuff. But hope you guys enjoyed the Izzet Twin adventures. Again, we're going to do a little bit more MTGO content because we are a member of the MTGO creative program. But thanks so much for tuning in and watching, everybody. Let me know what decks you guys want me to showcase next time. And that's going to do it for us. We'll see you all next game.